Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix begins with a world that has already changed, even though most people are pretending it has not. Lord Voldemort is back, Cedric Diggory is dead, and Harry Potter is carrying the truth almost alone. Instead of being believed, he is treated like a problem. Adults whisper around him, the ministry attacks his credibility, and the summer feels less like a break from school and more like the beginning of a siege. This chapter is not only about dark magic. It is about what happens when power decides that denying the truth is easier than facing it. Harry starts the story trapped once again at Privet Drive, cut off from news and furious that everyone seems to be keeping him in the dark. He is grieving Cedric, haunted by the return of Voldemort, and angry that the adults who know what happened still seem unwilling to trust him with anything. Then danger arrives in the most unexpected place. Two Dementors attack Harry and Dudley in a tunnel near home. Harry is forced to use magic in front of a Muggle to save both their lives. That act should be treated as self-defense. Instead, the Ministry sends Harry a notice threatening expulsion. It is the first clear sign of what the year will become. The people in charge are less interested in protecting him than in controlling the story around him. Before anything can be settled, a group from the wizarding world arrives to escort Harry away. They take him to Grimmauld Place, the hidden headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix, a secret resistance group led by Albus Dumbledore and dedicated to fighting Voldemort. At Grimmauld Place, Harry learns more about the larger war building around him. The Order is gathering information, moving carefully and trying to prepare for what is coming while the Ministry refuses to act. The house itself belongs to Sirius Black, and it feels less like a safe haven than a dark inheritance full of old bitterness. Sirius is glad to have Harry near, but even in reunion there is tension. Harry can sense that the adults are still deciding what he should be told and what should be kept from him. Soon Harry is dragged before a ministry hearing for using magic against the Dementors. The trial is not really about justice. It is an attempt to discredit him. Cornelius Fudge, the Minister of Magic, wants Harry quiet because admitting the truth about Voldemort would mean admitting how wrong and unprepared the ministry has been. Dumbledore arrives and forces the hearing back toward fairness, proving Harry acted to save lives. Harry is cleared, but the message is obvious. The ministry sees him as a threat. When the school year begins, Hogwarts feels different from the moment Harry returns. The students have heard rumors. The Daily Prophet has been poisoning public opinion against him, and many people no longer know whether to see him as a hero, a liar, or something unstable in between. This feeling hardens when Dolores Umbridge arrives as the new defense against the dark arts teacher and official representative of the ministry. Umbridge is one of the most effective villains in the series because she does not look like one. She dresses in soft colors, speaks in a falsely sweet voice, and acts as if order and politeness are the highest virtues in the world. But behind that sugary surface is a ruthless need for control. She has been sent to Hogwarts not to protect students, but to keep them ignorant and manageable. In her classroom, practical defense magic is removed from the curriculum. Students are told they will not be facing real danger and therefore do not need real preparation. Harry knows that is a lie. He has seen Voldemort return with his own eyes. When he speaks up in class and challenges Umbridge's version of reality, she punishes him cruelly. Her detentions force him to write lines with a blood quill that carves the words into his own skin. It is quiet torture disguised as discipline, and it marks the year with a different kind of darkness. At the same time, Harry is dealing with something happening inside his own mind. He begins having vivid dreams and sudden flashes that feel more like memories from someone else's life. At first these visions seem random, but they are tied to Voldemort. Harry's scar hurts more often now, and the line between his thoughts and Voldemort's influence is becoming dangerous. As Umbridge's control spreads through Hogwarts, students start losing faith in the adults meant to guide them. The ordinary channels of safety and truth are collapsing. Hermione sees what this means before most of the others do. If the school will not teach them how to defend themselves, they will have to do it on their own. From that idea comes Dumbledore's Army, a secret student group led by Harry, where he teaches practical defense magic to classmates who are finally ready to admit the danger is real. These scenes are some of the most satisfying in the film because they show Harry growing into a different kind of strength. He is no longer just reacting to danger when it appears. He is passing on what he has learned. He teaches disarming spells, patronus charms, and the kind of focus that comes from real experience. The students respond because they know he is the one person their age who has actually survived what they fear. The room of requirement becomes a hidden refuge where fear is turned into preparation. During all of this, the emotional lives of the characters keep moving too. Ron and Hermione are closer, though neither of them understands what to do with that. Neville Longbottom becomes more important, showing courage that has been underestimated for years. Luna Lovegood enters the story as someone strange, gentle, and unexpectedly perceptive. Her friendship matters because she meets Harry without demanding he explain his grief or defend his truth. The Ministry keeps tightening its grip. Umbridge gains more and more authority inside the school, appoints herself High Inquisitor, and starts interfering in every part of Hogwarts life. Teachers are watched, students are threatened. Fred and George Weasley respond the way only they can, turning rebellion into spectacle. Their final act of defiance, exploding through the school in chaos and color, becomes one of the great moments of resistance in the story. Meanwhile, Harry's visions grow more serious. He sees an attack on Arthur Weasley through the eyes of a snake and realizes the danger in time to help save him. That event proves his connection to Voldemort is real and useful, but it also terrifies the adults around him. Dumbledore begins avoiding Harry more than ever, which wounds him deeply. He cannot understand why the one person he most needs is now keeping distance. The answer lies in fear. Dumbledore knows that Voldemort may be trying to use the connection between himself and Harry, and he fears what might happen if that bond is pushed too far. But by trying to protect Harry through silence, he only makes the boy feel more isolated. To help control the visions, Harry begins occlumency lessons with Professor Snape. These sessions are a disaster. Snape already dislikes Harry, and Harry resents being forced into his care. The lessons expose not only Harry's lack of control, but also one of the most painful hidden truths of the series so far. During one lesson, Harry sees a memory of his father, James Potter, treating Snape with cruelty as a schoolboy. For Harry, who has built so much of his identity around idealized stories of his parents, the moment is deeply unsettling. The crisis of the film builds toward one devastating mistake. Harry experiences a vision that Sirius is being tortured in the Department of Mysteries. Because the connection to Voldemort has already shown him real things before, Harry believes this one too. He tries to confirm it, but the systems around him are broken or controlled. In the end, he does what frightened young people often do when institutions fail them. He turns to his friends. Ron, Hermione, Ginny Weasley, Neville, and Luna all go with him. They steal magical transport and fly to London on the Strals, unseen winged creatures only visible to people who have witnessed death. Inside the Department of Mysteries, they find the strange Hall of Prophecy spheres and realize too late that the vision was a trap. Voldemort wanted Harry there. The prophecy connected to Harry and Voldemort is stored in that room, and only Harry can retrieve it. Before the children can escape, Death Eaters close in around them. Among them is Lucius Malfoy, now openly serving the dark side. The battle that follows is chaotic and frightening because it strips away the school setting completely. This is not practice. These are students fighting trained followers of Voldemort inside a place full of unstable magic. The younger characters are forced to prove themselves in real combat, and for the first time we see clearly how much Harry's generation is already being asked to endure. Just as things are about to end in disaster, members of the Order arrive and turn the fight. Sirius comes too, and for a brief moment Harry has exactly what he wanted most. The adults he trusts are here. Help has come. The battle expands into something faster and more brutal, and then in one terrible instant Bellatrix Lestrange kills Sirius. The death lands with devastating force because of what Sirius represented. He was not just an ally. He was Harry's closest living link to his parents and the nearest thing he had left to family. Harry does not get time to process the loss. He reacts with pure grief and rage, chasing Bellatrix through the Ministry while the battle still rages behind him. Then Voldemort himself appears. This is one of the most important moments in the series because it forces the truth into the open where it can no longer be denied. Dumbledore arrives and fights Voldemort directly in a duel that feels larger than anything the series has shown before. While they fight, Voldemort tries one more attack. He possesses Harry, using their mental connection to turn Harry into a weapon against Dumbledore. But what defeats that attack is not greater force. It is Harry's grief, love, and memory. The pain of losing Sirius, the love he feels for his friends, and the bonds that make him human become the very things Voldemort cannot bear. Voldemort is forced back out, unable to survive inside a mind built around connection instead of domination. And then, at last, the final mask falls. Cornelius Fudge sees Voldemort with his own eyes. The lie is over. The Ministry can no longer pretend the Dark Lord has not returned. After the battle, Dumbledore finally tells Harry the truth he has withheld. There is a prophecy linking Harry and Voldemort. It says neither can live while the other survives. Harry was marked as Voldemort's equal, and from the moment Voldemort chose him as a target, both of their fates became tied together. Dumbledore also admits his own mistake. He kept distance from Harry because he cared too much and feared the connection Voldemort might exploit. In trying to protect him, he left him alone. Order of the Phoenix works because it understands that oppression is not only dramatic. Sometimes it is bureaucratic, smug, and dressed as procedure. Umbridge is horrifying because she shows how cruelty can thrive inside institutions that call themselves civilized. The film is also about isolation. Harry is angry for most of the story because he is carrying truth, grief, and fear while the world around him tries to shrink all three. Most of all, this film matters because it draws the line between Voldemort and Harry more clearly than ever. Both carry power. Both are marked by the same prophecy, but Voldemort cannot understand love and Harry cannot survive without it. That is not sentimental. It is the central difference between them. So Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix ends with the war no longer hidden. Sirius is gone. The Ministry has seen the truth. The students have already fought their first real battle. And Harry, standing in the wreckage of another year, now knows that the future is not something happening around him anymore. It is coming for him directly, and there is no going back to a simpler world.